I started the brewery in 2010 after working in the restaurant industry for a bit. I was a chef before getting into this. A couple other things as well. I was an apprentice shoemaker, web developer, street corner barista, just to name a few things. At any rate, I've always had a love for beer. I started homebrewing when I was about 14, although back then the only ingredients I could get were down at the local health food store, and I could get some canned barley malt, some sort of hops, I have no idea what that was still to this day, and bread yeast. It wasn't all that palatable. So by age 16, my grandfather, my Danish grandfather, who was a chemical engineer, he helped me build my first still, and we started making some hooch, although I wasn't about to drink it, but it made excellent floor cleaner. My wife came up with the name Baying Hound, and it just seemed fitting with my love of dogs, and it sounded good, and so it stuck. The bloodhound on the label, though, is not my marmalade. We didn't have any really good pictures of her baying, so I contacted some friends of mine up in New York who also have a bloodhound. And one thing to keep in mind with bloodhounds don't have owners, they have staff. Well, who's the bloodhound on the label? And they asked me, oh, is that your marmalade? And the answer is no. That is Whimsy the bloodhound. He lives on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, former show dog, just big, obnoxious bloodhound with a foghorn bay. I come from a long line of bootleggers, home brewers, and winemakers. And when I was doing my early experiments in brewing, my parents actually encouraged it, not only as a pursuit in science, but following sort of a family tradition. My great-grandfather on my mother's side was on the board of directors of Carlsberg. And then on my dad's side of the family, I had a great-grandfather, great name, he had a great name, Jim Morrison Rinehart. He was a bootlegger and also a home brewer. And during the 20s, he was making hooch, but wasn't charging anything for it. And my great-grandmother would go around their neighborhood of Petworth and just hand it out. This was also during the height of the Spanish flu epidemic. Well, as the story goes, no one in that neighborhood either died from the flu or else they were cured. Jim Morrison Rinehart was also the first Catholic in my family, and it has everything to do with beer. During the 20s, he was painting the old Franciscan house down by Catholic University. There were Capuchin monks there, very German, and they were brewing their own beer because even Prohibition wouldn't keep these Germans from their beer. Well, he offered them a deal one day and said, hey, look, I'll paint the rest of this monastery if you give me some beer. And they look at him and they're like, are you Catholic? And he said, no. And they said, sorry, you have to be a Catholic. So what does he do? He became a Catholic.